Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. Today, we are going to test a bunch of things Kinich to hopefully answer any additional questions you might have about him. So in my Constellation 0 showcase videos, I don't typically get to a signature weapon showcase as well as constellations, as well as some teams that, I just didn't frankly have the time to get to. However, in this video, we're going to be exploring some of those topics. For example, how is he with Hyperbloom? How is he with his signature weapon? And how is he with his constellations? And hopefully that'll give you guys some answers as to how much you plan to invest or, pull for Kinich for your specific account. So what is this video? The Creator Experience server has made its way over to Genshin Impact. Woohoo! This video was filmed on the Creator Experience server, and things may not be final. Please check the comments down below to see if there are any changes upon release. So starting off, we're going to have a very free-to-play friendly team as the baseline, and we can see here that I do have his build to have over 100% crit rate. He's using the Earth Shaker, and the 100% crit rate obviously is from the Obsidian Codex buff, which provides 40% additional crit rate after you spend a Night Soul point. And we can see his artifacts here are quite, reasonable. Not the best, but not the worst. We have him at Constellation 0 starting off, and his talents are at 6, 9, and 9. For Bennett, we have the extremely standard Sapwood Blade, Noblesse Oblige, Constellation 6 Bennett, and we have Shang Ling as well, who has a very mediocre build with the Emblem of Severed Fates, as well as Constellation 6, and her talents are at 9, 12, and 12. Finally, we have Yao Yao, who is also going to be another Favonius Lance user with the 4-piece Deepwood Memory, and she is also at Constellation 6. And we're going to be using A. Simon as our punching bag for today, because A. Simon is really nice since it conveniently also happens to have right around 1 million hit points, but without the drawback of moving a whole bunch, because obviously it just kind of sits here. So let's go ahead and hop right on over, and we're going to do a very standard rotation. Something like this should work just fine. Do one shot with his burst, and for the most part, I'm just going to go for 4 shots total, because trying to fish for that extra 5th shot is extremely rare and unlikely. And we can see here that accidentally yeeted myself after taking it out, but we were just shy of 1 million damage, which is kind of what I've been seeing with this level of investment for Kinich. And one thing to note about this though is that I'm not going to fish for the elusive 5th cannon strike, because 95% of the time, at least when I'm using Kinich, I get 4 cannon shots, and I'm just going to stick with that for the testing. And thank goodness for being able to just teleport back and forth like this. It is incredible that the bosses respawn so quickly. So the next team I wanted to test is a Hyperbloom team. Kinich's build isn't going to change, neither will Yao Yao's. However, Xingqiu is introduced with the standard emblem build with a sacrificial sword, as well as the Raiden Shogun with a pure elemental mastery build with the Flower of Paradise Lost. Now, of course, this team has a higher level of investment in comparison to the previous team, because this team requires 2 5-star characters, so there is that to keep in mind. Now let's give Hyperbloom a quick test against A. Simon. So we're just going to do this, and I believe a rotation like this. That should be just fine. And we can use Kinich's Elemental Burst. Swing on over. Now you'll notice that I'll probably only get 3... Oh my gosh, maybe even just 2 cannon shots there. Oh, okay, we squeezed the 3rd one out, luckily for us, and the boss is just barely alive. So an extremely similar performance between Hyperbloom as well as between the free-to-play burning setup. Kinich obviously doing much less damage. But overall, as we can see, Hyperbloom always being viable pretty much all the time, because it is Hyperbloom after all. For this next test, we're going to switch him over to his signature Claymore, the Fang of the Mountain King, which, you know, has a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but pretty much just gives him 60 additional elemental skill as well as elemental burst damage. So one thing to note about this weapon after we've equipped it is that it actually has a 11% crit rate, an extremely low amount of crit rate. That's some really high base attack there. But we're gonna have to switch around an artifact or two to accommodate for that. So what we can do is we can swap to this one with more attack percent. So we are still over crit by 4.6% in this case, so by a little bit, I believe by a little bit more. Let's hop right on over and do the standard rotation that we've been doing. Okay, never mind. I somehow did not switch off a Bennett there, and just do the same standard rotation that we've been doing. Hopefully I do it correctly. Okay, so we did 2 instead of 1. There's a 179k elemental skill there. And yeah, this time it was a very clean single cycle with a little bit of overkill as well. So the next steps are to start activating his constellations. Let's go ahead and take a look. Here we have 100% crit damage on the scale spiker cannon. So let's go ahead and activate this and give this a try. Now, since my Kinich is at around 212, we should see it going up by roughly 25% additional damage. Zip it on over, doing the standard rotation. There we go. I think I saw a little bit over 200k there for the first shot. And yeah, this time we didn't even need the fourth shot to take out his Simon. And up next, we have his Constellation 2, where after Kinich's elemental skill hits an opponent, it will decrease their danger resistance by 30% for 6 seconds. Additionally, the first scale spiker cannon Kinich fires after entering Nicel's Blessing has increased AoE, and its damage increases by 100%. Now go for the 2 into cannon shot. 380,000. What the? Oh my goodness. Holy cow. That's a huge damage increase. Oh my gosh. Was it bonus damage? Or was it the multiplier increase? Alright, I just had to go and math it out just to double check, but it is 100% bonus damage multiplier to the first cannon shot. That compounded with the 30% Dendro resistance shred really made that first cannon shot just do a ton more damage. But of course, because it's only the first cannon shot that gets this 100% bonus damage, the full rotation doesn't do, like, you know, as crazy. It's not like double throughout the whole rotation, but it is still a huge improvement and a massive constellation. So this next one is his Constellation 3, which gives 3 levels to his skill. Now this is a little less impactful than you might think, because although it increased this to level 12, we also have this flat 320% multiplier from his passive 1. So yeah, and I'm not going to test Constellation 3, 4, and 5 independently, because I just don't find them that interesting. They don't really do a whole lot. But let's go ahead and wrap this one up with his Constellation 6. Now this will require some testing between multiple enemies, because as we can see that it bounces between opponents once. So I have no idea what this means and really does. This Constellation 6 looks like it's only going to be active versus multiple targets. I'm not 100% sure, but let's give it a try against our Dorito friend really quick. All right, big boom. Did that one not crit? And why did it die in just 2 shots? Oh my gosh, I swapped back to the wrong weapon. So anyway, we've swapped back to his signature weapon. Let's go ahead and try it again now, but with his R1 weapon. Oh my gosh, it's bouncing off of the same target. I'm pretty sure it's bouncing off of just one target, right? Let's just double check it against a single target here. With as little bells and whistles as possible. Oh my gosh, it hits the same target twice. That is so busted. What the heck? Okay, I'm so glad I tested this out before making my guide video because that is absolutely bonkers. Yeah, obviously it completely changes his Constellation 6. I mean, it says it bounces between opponents once, opponents with a plural. But no, they're trying to downplay how ridiculous this Constellation 6 is. Okay, that's a little outrageous, but let's go ahead and do a full team demo here. Oops, I forgot to just use Bennett's burst straight away. But here we go. We're going to use his burst. I was hoping to skip wailing on him, but yeah. Let's go ahead and also refine this thing as well while we're at it. So there we go. Now it's at R5 as well. Let's just do a quick team showcase while we're at it. You know, I'm just going to skip Xiangling and the burst. Yeah. Now he's just one-shotting this thing without pretty much anything else, essentially. So, absolutely bonkers. So, while we're at it, we may as well just, you know, go even further beyond. So, let's just give him some whale stuff scaling now. Alright, here we go. This is going to be absolutely disgusting. I'm going to use Klee's skill twice here, just to make sure we get the defense proc in time. 720,000 on the first shot, and that didn't even include the second follow-up hit. Alright, let's try it out against this capybara. Now, I haven't fought this thing before, so hopefully I don't just like die to it, which I probably will, but you know, I guess we'll see. Here we go. Oh my goodness. It just effortlessly one-cycled that thing. How much health is it? How much health does that thing have? Over 5.2 million hit points for this enemy, and with such a simple, effortless rotation, this Kinich team was able to just one-cycle it. Now, of course, there are many teams that do way more damage per rotation than this team, but I still think that is an incredible showcase, especially for how easy Kinich is to use. As you can see, these rotations are super simple and straightforward. No need to even think. So yeah, let me know what you think about Kinich. Obviously, his Constellation 6 is absolutely insane, as well as his Constellation 2, to be completely frank. But Constellations 3 through 5 are a big whatever, one of the biggest whatevers we've had in, well, you know, not that long of a time, because these days Constellations 3 through 5 tend to be whatever. So I found this video to be interesting because we managed to explore Hyperbloom for a little bit, at least against free-to-play for free-to-play players, as well as we took a look at what his Constellations are capable of. Kinich is going to be a great character, honestly, at most levels of investments. For free-to-plays at Constellation 0, he's a pretty solid character, I would say an above-average DPS character. And if you are a bit of a dolphin, his Constellations 1 and 2 are all incredible to have as well. And finally, at whale levels, as we can see, Kinich is definitely going to be one of the better characters in Genshin Impact. So yeah, let me know what you think about this video. I wanted to get another early release video out to you guys, and I wasn't really sure what to make it on, but if you like this type of video where we kind of explore a character a bit more in detail after the initial Constellation 0 showcase, just let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, depending on how this video does, Oh my gosh, you could just see the Constellation 6 thing just bounce to the next enemy. Anyway, depending on how this video does, perhaps we'll be seeing more of this style of video in the future. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Went to Lose, signing out.